My husband of 23 years just told me he wants to try opening up our marriage, but he's already been testing the waters with a side piece for the last 4 months, and his mind is set on having her in his future whether I'm with him or not. Okay, so my husband, 43M, and I, 43F, have been married for 23 years. We have never dated or even kissed anyone else. Our story is long with ups and downs. I will try and make this short. But feel free to ask any Q as there's a lot of backstory. Okay, so as we have gotten older we have become more open-minded. For me in particular, just learning and breaking free of what society and religion have boxed as acceptable relationships. My husband has always felt like something was missing in his heart and mind, our whole marriage. There have been about 5 times in our relationship where he has met someone that helps a little bit of this hole. But as we were both clearly monogamous, I was very upset to the point of not being able to function, and we would take a break. And in the end we would always come back together. Nothing physical was ever done, but the emotional cheating was heartbreaking for me. I now have more of an open mind, however. He said after doing some research and soul-searching that he feels like he needs more than one woman to be in a relationship with. But not in general, specifically a woman from 5 years ago who he had one of the connections with. She had cut it off because she wanted a physical relationship with him, but he couldn't cross that line, and because she was so upset her husband found out and they cut ties. But now he wants to date her and stay married to me. He said eventually he wants us both to be in equal types of relationship with him. And okay, I can think about this and see if it's something I would be comfortable with. The problem is things started back up with them seriously about 4 months ago. About a month ago they started making out and kissing, and he just told me about this today. He wasn't even going to mention the kissing. I had to ask him specifically. He said that he plans on having a full relationship with her, intercourse and all. His want is to be with me like we have been and have her as a girlfriend too. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Poly is already something I had been pondering for myself, so I am wondering if maybe I had someone else as well. We could keep what we have and both be happier for it. So I am thinking on it. But it's really hard for me not to feel hurt over him already having someone, dating someone, and then making out, cuddling and kissing. All doing that without talking to me first. I am so furious and also sad. To make matters worse, a year ago I fell really ill and have been on disability ever since. So I am having a really hard time trying to figure out what I want while trying to disregard if we aren't together anymore. How would I live and survive? He told me that he 100% will not stop seeing her and moving forward, but that he does want things to stay the same with us, and I can decide if that is what I want and to let him know. Am I putting too much importance on the kiss and overreacting on what he's done already? I also asked him would this be where we are all together, like knowing each other and around each other. But he said he doesn't see that working, that he wants his relationship with her totally separate and us not having anything to do with each other. Knowing each of us, he doesn't think it would work well. I need advice, please. I don't really have anyone to talk to. And I know Polly needs a lot of honesty and openness, but I can't help but feel like he's already broken that. IDK. Any advice or thoughts are greatly appreciated. Thanks. Commenter. I'm so sorry. This is heartbreaking, and as others have mentioned, it is cheating. It is painful, it is scary, it is infuriating. All your feelings, they are completely valid. It might be additionally disorienting because you haven't been with anyone else, I imagine, plus the disability. What does this whole thing also say about the woman who is with him? She either doesn't know the full context of your story with your husband, or she does not care. Either way, staying with him would keep you in a vulnerable and unfair position, and the line will not stop there. You don't need to face this alone. Please reach for additional support and do not, for a moment, feel that you are the bad guy here. Your husband messed up big time. Up. Yeah, I have never been with another person, haven't even kissed or held hands with anyone else. I do feel alone. This last year with my health and losing all the plans I've had for my life, I've been dealing with depression on and off. And when I'm depressed I curl up inside myself and draw away from my loved ones. So I'm feeling like I have no one to turn to for support. Hence coming to the internet. Lol. I'm hopeful I can be brave enough to reach out to a loved one soon. Update 1. So, I have learned a lot about how he feels about and with this other woman. And I have done some soul searching. This is what I ended up doing. He claimed he wanted us both, separate but equal partners. And I sat with that for a bit. Then after some talks I realized I only had one every important cue. If he had to choose now, who would it be? I gave him an example. She came to him and said it was too hard on her to continue the open relationship, and that she couldn't do it anymore. What would you do? Who would you stay with? And he wouldn't say the words, but he had the look on his face that said he would pick her. I told him that isn't a balanced relationship. That it isn't poly. That she holds all the power. That he will do whatever it is she wants because he has to be with her, so he will do anything she wants, including leaving me. So then I told him it wasn't fair to me. That his proposal would put me at the very bottom of importance, below both of them. I told him that's not fair to me. That I don't deserve to be someone's second, someone's back burner. And so I told him I couldn't stay with him. I packed a suitcase and stayed the night with my sister down the road. We met a couple times after that to go over logistics. I set a reasonable timeline for him to get stuff out of the house. I set the boundaries that I didn't want to see him. I didn't want any communication unless it was logistics like bills or rides for the kids. I haven't seen him since. It's been a very roller coaster time for me. We were together for 25 years. I found one person that he actually told the woman's name to. My ex never told me or anyone he thought might tell me. So his brother told me. I found her on IG and FB 2 days ago. Man, that was really hard to see who my spouse was dating. Seeing her adult daughter do a post that talks about how good a person she is. And I wanted so bad to say that her mom is the type of person who dates married men. I'm not going to. But I really want to message the girlfriend. Thinking I might spend some time crafting it over the next week and send it. I have quite the journey ahead of me. To all those who saw through his BS and called it what it was, cheating, and who encouraged me to leave him, and who were upset on my behalf, thank you. It was really eye-opening to have such a unanimous response to my post, and helped give me the courage I needed. If anyone has any cue, feel free to ask. I just hope someday I can find someone who treats me as an equal, a partner, who would choose me over others. Commenter. That is such heartbreak. He sounds selfish, immature, and selfish. Did I already say that? I am sorry. He gave no thought to you at all. Should be a huge red flag for her, but Godspeed, lady. You take care of you, now, and when he comes crawling back to you, in 6 months to a year, remember, he showed you who he is. Up. Oh, I'll remember. Lol. His brother actually told me if I consider getting back with his own brother, he will kidnap me and lock me up until I remember all the stuff my ex put me through and tell him I won't do it. Lol. Also, you mentioned he gave no thought to me at all. The heartbreaking thing is my ex has been very clear he did think about me. He said he felt like he was between a rock and a hard place. That his girlfriend kept wanting more and more, and if he didn't give it to her she would leave. So he weighed what it would do to me, he weighed that he would be breaking his strict moral code, and he weighed how he would feel if she left. And he chose her. Which to me is a hell of a lot worse than not thinking of me at all. Update 2. It has been over 7 months since my first post, and there were so many people who saw my post. I even saw it reposted in Best of Reddit Updates, and a YouTube channel did a Reddit reaction to it. Which was crazy and surreal. The light roasting hurt a bit, but I get it. I wanted to share an update with everyone. Reading back on my first post from the day after he told me he wanted to keep both his girlfriend and myself, I am both embarrassed and glad I can see how far I have truly come. As I said in my first update, I ended things in mid-March. I have been doing a lot of learning and growing since then. I have learned a lot about covert narcissistic behaviors. I have learned about communication in relationships, about setting healthy boundaries. I can see so clearly what was unhealthy, and honestly toxic about our relationship and the cycle I was stuck in. I learned that how I thought and felt about things in our relationship are valid, and I don't have to accept his verbiage and his gaslighting as fact. In my original post I never called it cheating. And that was because he never considered it was cheating since he, supposedly, didn't actually sleep with them. And in the past if I called it cheating he would get upset, explain why it wasn't cheating, and I would just believe he was right. I read a book about covert narcissists and there was a lot in there that was exactly my experiences. Sometimes it was an exact quote of things I have thought before. I have stopped allowing his thoughts and feelings to override my own, and it feels so good. After the affair 3 years ago, with a different lady, we were far apart for long enough that I started to see what was wrong with how he treated me. I learned who I was without him. And even though I believed his words and promises when he persuaded me to give him another chance, I never lost all of that progress I made. So because of that and the amazing support that I ended up having, I was able to finally break the cycle and be free. That's not to say it's been easy. But we officially filed for divorce almost 2 weeks ago as co-petitioners. My state is a no-fault divorce state and he didn't object to anything I presented. So the paperwork aspect was relatively easy. The emotions were kinda all over the place. Sometimes I get angry thinking about his cheating partner girlfriend being welcomed by family and friends. While the majority of the fault is his, it's not like she had zero to do with it. I know I can't control how anyone decides to treat her. If they are immediately welcoming and bringing her into the fold, it makes me feel like I didn't matter to them. Didn't matter enough to be upset on my behalf. Like her actions and what hurt me greatly don't matter. The anger of the betrayal hits hard sometimes. About 2 months after me telling him I deserve better and to get out, we had a couple long conversations. I could tell he was miserable. He did say it was the worst thing he has ever experienced in his life. He feels ashamed of himself and his actions and said he will never forgive himself. He apologized many times, for different things he realized he was doing wrong when we were together. Having fully and forever lost me, he sees clearly just how much of his foundation I was. I say all of this not fully trusting it since his actions never matched his words, and I wish I could have seen the manipulation years ago. I am really proud of myself for how I have dealt with this whole thing, and for how far I have come. This time was so different from the others. I didn't have the phase of who am I without him or the mourning of 25 years. I did those things with the affair 3 years ago. Breaking free of the love bombing, devaluing, and discard narcissistic cycle is very, very difficult. I wish I was strong enough to do it any of the other 6 times before, but at least it wasn't another 6 times down the road. But now I am free, and strong and know my own value. While I do not want to settle down with someone new for the rest of my life right now, I have been thinking about starting to date again. I think it would be fun, and honestly help in my healing journey. Wish me luck. And don't worry, no red flags will be ignored. Thanks everyone. Commenter. Almost every single one of these wants to try poly. People just want to be able to sleep with other people, and usually one person in particular, without the consequences of ending their relationship.